the B-side had emerged as an unwanted burden to prevent the ignominy of one-sided 45s, something the record industry had actually considered. The Beatles would turn that burden into a place of hidden treasures, where the act of flipping over a 45 RPM vinyl single was rewarded with songs that would come to be held as some of their greatest. All tracks considered for this list are from standalone singles not available elsewhere. When the Beatles' back catalogue was first issued on CD, 2 new albums were created, Past Masters Volume 1 and Volume 2. Released in March 1988, they contained all the standalone A-sides and their corresponding flip sides. Later that year, both volumes were issued together on double vinyl. In 2009, Past Masters was remastered and reissued as a double CD, and in 2012 as double vinyl. In 2014, Mono Masters was released on triple vinyl. All the tracks on this list can be found on Past Masters. At number 5, This Boy, the B-side of I Want to Hold Your Hand, released November the 29th, 1963. This Boy was undoubtedly the best Beatles B-side to date, and demonstrated that not only would they be no flash in the pan, but just how far they had come in such a short period. Its superb balladry with gorgeous 3-part harmonies, with the pleading euphoria of John's top line during the middle 8 simply stunning, is only more impressive with the realisation that in lesser hands it may well have ended up dirge-like. At number 4, She's a Woman, the B-side of I Feel Fine, released November the 27th, 1964. Such is the strength and commercial viability of She's a Woman, there's an argument that this 45 could have easily been issued as a double A-side. Again, the sophistication and canny songwriting on show is masterful. As Tony Tyler and Roy Carr commented in their Beatles and Illustrated record, She's a Woman shows already that McCartney had discovered, like Lennon before him, that it was well within his capacity to write and sing original rockers of considerable power. At number 3, Don't Let Me Down, the B-side of Get Back, released April the 15th, 1969. Lennon was the ultimate postmodern man, believing that the only person he really knew was himself. We all know who and what Lennon is singing about on this superb track. Love songs were no longer abstract musings drifting into the ether. The openness and fervent pleading revealed here would ultimately reach its apogee via primal scream therapy and the self-flagellation of the John Lennon Plastic Ono Band album, released at the end of 1970. Lennon's committed delivery is complemented and matched by McCartney's harmonies, and panache carries the day, with the arrangement and performances a perfect example of the Beatles' intuitive brilliance, and with a special mention for Billy Preston's beautiful electric piano contribution. Don't Let Me Down was added to the revisionist Let It Be Naked album released in 2003. It should have been on the original album. Number 2, Revolution, the B-side of Hey Jude, released August the 30th, 1968. One of the most potent and hardest rocking songs the Beatles ever recorded, and one that managed to upset both the tin pot revolutionaries with its ambivalence towards destructive and violent protest, and the delicate sensibilities of record buyers who returned the single complaining of the unreasonable levels of distortion. Phil MacDonald, tape operator at Abbey Road, said in Mark Lewison's The Complete Beatles recording sessions that
John wanted that sound, a really distorted sound. The guitars were put through the recording console, which was technically not the thing to do. It completely overloaded the channel and produced the fuzz sound. Fortunately, the technical people didn't find out. They didn't approve of abuse of equipment.
The B-side Revolution was the second version of this track to be recorded. The first, known as Revolution 1, was began at the end of May and completed by the beginning of June 1968. With its doo-wop backing vocals and slower and bluesier than its pent-up brother, it ended up as the first track on side 4 of the Beatles' White Album. The single version was recorded on the 10th, 11th and 12th of July 1968. And at number 1, Rain, the B-side of Paperback Writer, released the 10th of June 1966. Entire books could be written about Rain, such is its breathtaking brilliance. There are so many things to admire: Ringo's wonderful drumming, McCartney's stellar bass playing, the saturated guitars, the sublime backing vocals, and of course the groundbreaking use of backwards vocals towards the end. Rain is muscular, intense, and takes the drone-like slouch heard on the verses of Ticket to Ride to another level, helped by the innovative slowing down and manipulating of tape speed. Rain is often cited as one of rock music's first psychedelic ventures, and while this has some truth, it's the track's earthiness that makes it so affecting, hypnotic and timeless, not its sense of the otherworldly that much psychedelia would hang its coat on. Rain was recorded on the 14th and 16th of April 1966 and mixed in mono only later on the 16th. Rain was not remixed for stereo until the 2nd of December 1969. If you enjoy our content, please subscribe and help us grow our channel. See you next time.